that I've already set up that function down here for you inside house. And once we get through this section, for your assignment, you're going to flesh out these two scenes, waterfall and inside house, and create a scenario in that scene, sort of like we've been doing in these tutorials. Okay, so you go inside the house. So then the question is, how do we unlock the door? Well, let's handle a situation where the user asks us to do that. If the user says, unlock door, we want to be able to deal with that situation. So let's do another else if statement. U.includes unlock. And we also want to make sure that the user is not trying to unlock the window or anything else like that. So we want to say if u.includes door, then we want to unlock the door. Now, in order to unlock the door, we have to make sure that our user has the key. Now, in our previous clearing, in our previous room, right, we set up a situation where the user finds a key in the knot of the tree, right? And we set has key equal to true if the user takes the key and puts it in their pocket. And so we've got this variable up here that's keeping track of whether the user has the key. So all we need to do down here, if the user is asking us to unlock the door, is check to see if they have the key. So if has key is equal to true, then alert, you put the key in the lock and turn it. It works. The door is unlocked. And then we want to rerun our house. And maybe at this point we want to say something like, we want to add another statement here, else if, well, actually, when we put the key in the lock, we probably want to keep track of that. And so we have door locked is equal to true here, right? Here we're going to say door locked is equal to false. And so now we know that the door is unlocked. And so up here in our prompt function, right, else if door locked is equal to false, let's handle that situation. Var u is equal to prompt. You stand before an unlocked door. You try to look inside, but it's still closed. Okay, so now we have the situation where we're handling whether the user goes inside. We probably also want to handle something like open door, right? And we can do all of that, but for right now, let's just handle whether or not the user goes inside. That should be just fine. Or, let's make this a little easier. You stand before an unlocked door. It creaks open, just a crack. And so now, if the user goes inside, right, that makes sense. Okay, so here we go. So now our door locked is equal to false, and we're going to go inside the house. And if we go inside, if we say go inside, then we're actually inside the house. Now I want inside the house to actually alert us to something. Okay, let's run it. Let's see what happens. All right, so there's a house here in a large tree. So we're going to look at the tree. It has a knot at eye level. Look at the knot. If I twist it, it looks like it's going to come out. So let's twist the knot. You look in and see a golden key. Let's take the key. You take the key and put it in your pocket. Okay, now I'm going to go to the house. You walk up to the house and see that it's in disrepair. It doesn't look like anybody has been here for a long time. Let's look at the house. The shrubbery around the door is overgrown and the windows are covered in dust. So let's look at the shrubs. They're overgrown, but they don't look very interesting. Let's look at the door. It's made of oak, it looks heavy, it's also locked. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Unlock the door. Uh-oh, we've got a problem. Well, what happened here, we have dealt with the case that where if has key is equal to true, but we haven't dealt with the case where we don't have the key. Now, we should have had the key, but probably the thing that kicked us out here, right, is that we're not dealing with this this else statement. So let's write that else statement first. Okay? So we're going to do the else. So if you don't have the key, and then we're going to alert, you don't have the key. Alright, and then we're going to run house again. Alright, so now we're going to run an expedient version of this. I know that the key is in the knot in the tree, so I'm going to twist the knot, okay, and I'm going to take the key, it's in my pocket, now I'm going to go to the house, and I'm going to try to unlock the door. You don't have the key. Huh, so what's the problem here? Well, let's take a look at a couple of things. So in my unlock the door code seems to work. So the problem is probably where I'm setting this variable has key. So I set that up here in my clearing function, and I'm setting that, let's see, down here under twisting the knot where I'm putting it in my pocket. Ah, I see the problem here. Now look at this. When I take the key, I'm taking the key and putting it in my pocket, and then I'm calling the clearing function before I set has key to true. Now what that does is that actually restarts this whole function, and my code will never actually get to this line. And so what I need to do to fix my problem here is just move my statement setting has key to true before I call that clearing function. Okay, so let's run it again and let's try it. Alright, you find yourself in a clearing. Great, I'm going to twist the knot because I know that's where the key is. I'm going to take the key. Okay, it's in my pocket. Go to the house. Alright, I'm going to unlock the door. And yes, I have the key. You put the key in the lock and you turn it. It works. The door is unlocked. You stand before an unlocked door. It creaks open just a crack. Go inside. You go inside the house. And so now we're inside the house. We just called this inside the house function. That's excellent. That does everything that we want it to do. So you've seen me do a lot of things in these videos. We've done some complicated string checking using the includes function. We've kept track of a few variables and changed the way that our story works depending on whether or not these variables are set the way that we want them to be. We've also tried to take care of cases where maybe our user is going to put maybe one or two different things using and or. So we're doing a lot of the things that we've done in previous lessons here. And so your job this week is to try all of this yourself. And what I want you to do is try to flesh out these two scenes, waterfall and inside house, and do some of the things that I did in the two scenes in this tutorial. Now, it's going to become kind of tedious testing waterfall and inside house from within the clearing, and so you can always change this here. This line 113 is the line that starts the program. If you want to start just at the waterfall, then just start it waterfall with the parentheses. Everything we did in the clearing and at the house is self-contained in those two rooms. So you can, if you want to, make these two rooms kind of self-contained themselves. And so when you're running it, if you put waterfall with two parentheses or inside house with two parentheses, you should have, you'll be able to start in those rooms and be able to test your code that way. And make sure that when you're going through your code, you test it, you try to break it, and you try to be